Hello and welcome again to the Digital Excellence Pharma Academy. We are now beginning a new series of Digital Excellence Pharma Academy, DEPA 2.0 version, where we will be having a series of workshops to help you to make better sense of digital and how you can adapt it in your organizations. So let me just briefly give you an introduction to the workshop. So this is what we did in the last year. We brought over 25 pharma and healthcare leaders from India and all across the world to speak to you on the various factors that are impacting pharmaceutical and healthcare industry and the significance of adapting digital going forwards to engage doctors. With DEPA 2.0, we are moving a step forward with a series of 4 modules. The first one being thinking differently in the new normal. How can pharma companies address the challenge of not being able to meet with doctors because of the disruption brought in by the COVID-19 crisis, which is likely to remain with us in many forms? So the first module will address the challenge of digital in disruption and how you can augment the work or supplement the work of your medical reps in engaging doctors through various digital channels. And to be able to do that, you should know what influences your customers, and that is what we will be doing in the second module. The third module will focus on the added complexity of remote reach, because you should be able to use digital to launch new product, to effectively manage the promotions of your cash cow products. And finally, in the fourth module, we'll focus on how do you know you are winning, because the traditional ROI measurements or the KPIs need to be reframed so that you can understand what is happening with your digital strategy. So these are the 4 modules that you will be getting a glimpse of now. They are all based on case studies. We will be having a brief introduction to each module by Salil, Kallianpur, the lead faculty for this workshop. And that will be followed by an appropriate case study to address the problem that is brought on by different situations facing pharma professionals in engaging with doctors effectively. So the first module will be on the air on the 30th of October with Dr. Peter Velev, who's a medical doctor and a pharmaceutical professional presenting case studies from Europe, and Praful Akali, the managing director of Medulla communication, presenting the Indian case studies. And finally, Salil Kallianpur will highlight the key learnings from these case studies and how you can adapt this in your organizations. And going forward, whenever you need any assistance, we will be glad to engage with your organization, do these workshops in-house for your organizations, as well as help you with along with our partners, CredoWeb and Medulla Communication, to launch your digital communication to engage doctors effectively. So let's quickly go over and see a few of the highlights, snippets of what's in store for you in the first module of the 4-module workshop series, moving from digital noise to digital voice. In the first edition, we have all done a lot of webinars and WhatsApp calls, and it has created a lot of digital noise. But we need to move beyond that and create a digital voice for each of your organization. And that is what we will be addressing through these workshops.
So this is an interesting case in the dermatology area, and the company wanted to really to support their doctors. They wanted to engage the doctors in their database, but also to add additional, let's say, dermatologists in their portfolio. the topic is acne, how to treat acne, but based on the newest, let's say, scientific knowledge. And very important in these digital activities is who is doing what. The digital agency is very important part of the preparation and execution of such events, because the company normally has to outsource this type of activities. CredoWeb is the technology, and we have at the beginning to formulate very clear the objectives, what we are going to do. And in our business case, the first thing was to facilitate easy access to the latest scientific information in dermatology, especially in the field of acne. This is the first one. And second is to increase and to sustain the engagement with your ACPs. It seems simple. You are doing traditionally offline, but now if you combine these digital efforts with your traditional one, it's really something very important. The case was executed during Q3 this year. It was nationwide, and we also engage the American Academy of Dermatology. So it means that after the event, the doctors could, let's say, go through the questionnaire and get certificate from the academy. We started with training programs, and it was challenging period, because you could imagine the fear. The medical reps are always thinking if the new technologies could replace us. The second thing, in the big organization, you know, is not so easy to coordinate so many processes. And I think that the digital agency did a perfect job, and we overcome all challenges pretty successful. And then we started with the registration and onboarding of the healthcare professionals. The satisfaction rate was really very high. Why? Because the knowledge got in very short period based on your agenda, having direct access to a famous KOL, and to fulfill the questionnaire and to get the certificate. It was really an interesting game. It was new as a methodology, but it was really very value added for the participants. So you see that the goal was fulfilled. It was really challenging to organize the whole story, but at the end, the satisfaction was really at a very high level. So this experience is very positive, and we're going to execute other such activities. This was Nope, the business case in India. Do we have any, let's say, comments?
Salil, I would like to hear your perspectives. Dr. Peter has shared some case studies, and it would be nice to hear your perspectives, summing them up as to how they fit into what you have shared earlier as the key learnings.
Yeah, so thank you, Peter. The case studies very nicely bring out the essence of what we wanted to communicate. I think the first and most important thing, there are a lot of different opportunities that technology-based platforms offer. And this is something that you would never be able to do if you were doing this conventionally through the field force. Now, this is also to be taken as an opportunity to help them manage their relationship with the HCPs. And I think Peter brought this out very well to say that digital does not substitute for people, but it augments their relationship. The relationship is going to be led by the medical rep for the foreseeable future in India. And if that is going to be the case, then we think about how you can use these opportunities that digital offers to help them do their job better, to be able to create communication or use content that helps drive the point that they want to. It helps remove the Chinese whisper. It helps communicate the message in the way that it is intended between sender and receiver. And it also does many more things in terms of engagement and experience. And I think those are important takeaways that you must have, that you can do a lot more with digital than you can with your current portfolio. And so therefore I want to bring it back to the point that you need to think about digital only if you are thinking about transforming your business model. If you are thinking about how the business will work in the future when everything gets dominated by tech enabled tools, will you still be relevant? If you think that patients or the market will stay put because you don't feel it is necessary to go digital, that's not going to happen. People have embedded digital very much into their lives. They are going to require a lot of different engagement and experience tools. And it simply is a matter of who's going to bring it to them.